didn't film yet.
Yeah,
Damn.
we're ready.
Crispy Chaos here. Welcome. Today we're going to be making what I call a Peruvian-inspired chili crisp. The reason I call it that is we're using lemon drop peppers, and they're native to Peru. Nice pepper, citrusy in taste. Heat-wise, it's got a good kick. It's about 3 times out of a jalapeno, not as bad as a habanero. So, but we're going to add citrus. Also makes me think of the holidays and Christmas time. So we're going to be adding elements like that as well. So if you've never made chili crisp before, and even if you have, you can get the recipe on my blog. It'll be here, director, here, my right, that right. Okay, so it'll be posted there. For the recipe, first thing, I love a lot of garlic. So I'm going to use a whole bulb of garlic. Now, you're going to take the garlic. What I like to do is slice it thin first. Now, I have the knife skills of a prepubescent squirrel, so I'm not going to bore you with this. High school, I was voted most likely to lose all my fingers by retirement. In shop, when other kids were making jewelry boxes, my teacher gave me paper airplanes. So enough of that. Tell you what, we're going to take the garlic. I like it thin slices, and then I'll chop it up so it's not a whole clove. I like a lot of garlic because this is going to be part of our crispy elements, and so we want it to crisp nicely. By the way, thank you to Lexi, my director behind the scene, in front of the scene. The next crisp ingredient, shallots, nice red shallot. I take a full shallot. This is really good flavor. And once again, you want to chop it up very thin and smaller slices so it crisps evenly. Again, I'm not going to bore you with my knife skills. Fancier. The final thing that we really crisp is some commercial crisps use sugar. I like to use candied ginger. It gives it a nice little sweetness, but you also get that ginger taste. We're just going to chop this up slightly. You still want a little chunk to give it crispiness, but this is going to caramelize. And so the first thing I'm going to do now that I have the crispy parts chopped, before I add oil to the pan, I'm going to turn this on medium heat, and we're going to toast some aromatics. I think it gives it a little bit more depth. My first thing here is Szechuan peppercorns, and I hope I'm saying that right. If you've never had Szechuan peppers, they're not spicy. They're I don't know how to describe. It's like eating a mariachi band. It's like your mouth just dances and tingles, and it's like mint on crack. It's fabulous. So we're going to throw in a little bit of that. Instead of just black pepper, I use rainbow peppercorns. It just gives it a little bit more flavor. Sesame seeds, fennel seeds, and again, you can get these amounts on the blog. Cumin seeds, and finally, I like, especially for the holidays, juniper berries. Let's get a top down here. So we're going to just stir these up a little bit and just, again, dry skittle. And we're going to give them probably 5 to 8 minutes just to bring out the aroma. While those are toasting, we have 5 minutes. The next thing is, I said, the lemon drop peppers. I grew these in our garden this year. Dehydrated lemon drops. I'm going to leave the stems on for the most part. They're edible, and we're going to be chopping these up because nobody wants big flakes of pepper skin in their chili crisp. So we're going to pretty much pulverize this. Until you get a nice, powdery pepper mix. Get yourself a nice sized heat-proof bowl. And we're going to assemble our dry mix into that. Let me work on aromatics. Are just about there. You can smell those. So I think we're just about done with these seeds and aromatics. So I'm going to let these cool for a minute. And now that the pan is empty, we're going to add in roughly 2 cups of avocado oil. Now, you can use any neutral oil, peanut oil. I like avocado. It's supposedly a little bit healthier, but I like the taste and the way. So a nice neutral oil. And we're going to keep this at medium. Give that a minute here to heat up. While that heats up, these should be good enough. We're going to put our seed. All right, so this way the peppercorns, Szechuan, black pepper. Oh, my mouth is still minty from that Szechuan pepper. Juniper berries. We're not using whole berries when you get a mouthful of the chili crisp. And it disperses the flavors a little bit better. So now that the oil is warmed up, we're going to start with these shallots. All right, we're just going to put those in the oil. These take the longest, and you want to do them medium so you don't get them too crispy and burnt. Into the shallots, we're going to take a cinnamon stick and a star anise pod, how are you going to say it, and let that infuse the oil. So right now we're infusing the oil, and at the same time we're crisping up the chili crisp elements. And while that's browning, just so you could show you, this is a jar I made back in November. I call this, thanks to Heather, my wife, named it Fall into Christmas. And it has juniper berries and a lot of holiday spices. You can see I made quite a big batch. We're not going to be making that much today. But this is one that I keep in the refrigerator. And thank you again, Heather, for the nice apron and the labels for my crisps. So while we're crisping that, we're going to continue to work on our dry mix. So we have the lemon drops that I pulverize. We're going to take the aromatics. We're going to throw those in. Now, I like to add I like depth of flavor. I have here some ground bell peppers, red and green bell peppers that are dehydrated, chopped up pretty good. We're going to dump those in. Usually about 3 times the amount of the hot peppers I like. These lemon drops are hot enough. You're still going to get that good heat. You can adjust that to your taste. I also like a little, what they call the umami, if I'm saying that right. I like some porcini mushroom powder. Doing something different here I've never done because it's Peruvian. Usually I add peanuts, walnuts, cashews, some type of another crunch element. But I have here corn nuts, dried corn nuts, since corn is so big in American cuisine. So we're going to grind these up. All right, and these corn nuts give us a little bit more crunch and depth of flavor. I've never done this before, but I'm going to add some lemon zest. I think it'll work great with the lemon drop peppers and the citrus element that we're going for. And so now that we have these crisped up the way we like them, we're going to take a second heat-proof bowl and we're going to strain out the oil. Or I should say strain out the shallots, the crispy bits. All right, so we're going to get those shallots out of there. We're going to sift those out. And a bigger bowl would have been better. And we want to get as much oil out. What's going to happen is these shallots are going to crisp up as they dry and cool. And that's what you want. You want that crunch in the oil. So we got most of the oil out. So I'm going to set this now over top of my dry mix. And we're going to put the oil back into the pan, still over medium heat. And next we're going to add the garlic. And then the candied ginger that we had chopped up. Listen to that sizzle.
Wow.
The reason I do the garlic and the ginger separate is because the shallots take about 20 minutes. These should only take about 10 and have the same level of crispiness as the shallots. So we're going to let those cook for about 10 minutes. While we're doing that, we're going to finish up on our dry mix. So even though it's called the dry mix, we're going to have some wet ingredients. I love sesame oil. Great taste. Really enhances it. I add a tablespoon of sesame oil. And then another nice element for depth is I use coconut aminos, but you can use soy sauce if you like. And that also gets about a tablespoon-ish. This garlic is just about perfect. Look at that nice brown. Oh, I can smell it in the kitchen. Makes me hungry. And the ginger, it should be nice and crisp. So, last step for crispy bits. I don't have a second strainer. We're going to pour this oil once again. Try to avoid the shallots we already crisped as much as possible. And let's bring this over to dry mix. It's not going to hurt if some of the oil goes in the dry mix. It's going to get there eventually. And we're going to put these solids in the strainer. And just like with the shallots, we're going to let these crisp. Get nice and crunchy. Let that crunchy. Thank you. All right. One last time, we're going to put the oil back into the pan. And we're going to turn this up to medium high. Get this nice and hot. I'm going to let the garlic and shallots, the crisp elements, go. And I am going to stir up the dry mix. This is the mushroom, the peppers, the seeds, the aromatics. And where's close-up cam?
I'm coming.
Close-up cam. See, we got a nice mix.
Wow.
So.
Oh,
hang on.
Wow.
Wow. Once this oil is nice and hot, all right, we're going to take the pan and we're going to dump this into the dry mix. Get ready for that sizzle. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
By the way, it smells delicious in here. Just letting everybody know.
Thank you. So we're going to let the garlic and the shallots and all that dry nice and crisp. Don't resist the temptation to add it immediately or you're going to lose that crackle when you make it. So while that's drying, we're going to remove the cinnamon stick and look for the star anise, however, and we're going to remove that. So all we have left is the garlic, the shallots, and the ginger. And give it a good 10 minutes or so. And then we're going to add this to the dry mix, which is no longer dry. So now we have everything is together. We remove the cinnamon, the star anise. We have the crispy bits. We have the dry. We have everything is mixed together. The crisp is basically done. The only thing you need to do is let it rest. Let the flavors develop. Let it sit overnight. Put it in a jar in the refrigerator. My favorite thing for chili crisp is sandwiches, a little mayo. Mix in that chili crisp, gives a little bit of crunch, a little bit of spiciness. Fabulous. Eggs, especially over easy, scrambled eggs. First recipe I ever tried with it was from the New York Times. It was a chili crisp Alfredo sauce. Fabulous. Soups, pasta sauces, anything you want. And I'd love to hear how you use it. Enjoy. You guys are on your own now. I'm having some chili crisp.
Perfect.